ocean pollution that I will be talking about. My senior year of high school, I went to Catalina Island where I learned a lot about ocean pollution and learned about its effects firsthand. It inspired me to make differences in my lifestyles that I hope to pass on to you all today. During my speech, I'm going to talk about why ocean pollution is such a problem, then I'll talk about easy and beneficial alternatives and the consequences if no changes are going to be made. Knowing that we have such a large impact on the ocean's health, we need to know who and what is being affected. 80% of ocean pollution comes from land-based activities, either through deliberate dumping or runoff through drains and rivers. The first point I'm going to be talking about is oil spills and toxic chemicals. According to Armin Pitiani in his article, Oil and Gas Industry Spills Happen All the Time on CBSNews.com, he points out that oil spills can occur up to 18 times per day. That's 400 million gallons of oil that are spilled into the ocean each year. 37 of that 400 million are coming from tank and ship explosions, and a surprising 360 million are coming from byproducts of automobiles and industrial waste. So, automobiles like cars, trucks, and even boats are the main sources of oil pollution. These are called non-point source pollution. According to Nancy Robilas in the New York Times article published on May 24, 2002, she reminds us that we've all seen the sheen on the streets, like in the picture above. The engines drop small amounts of oil onto the roads, and once it rains, it runs off into drains and eventually makes its way into the ocean. A common misconception is that the ocean is large enough to dilute the pollution, and that's not true. Once it enters the water, and it will most likely affect the food chain through a process of biomagnification. According to Becca Shelton, When Bigger Isn't Better, published on October 9, 2012, she confirms that biomagnification occurs when the concentration of a pollution increases from one trophic level to the next until the top predator is containing the highest pollution level. The problem with this is we eat the seafood that's being contaminated, and we are at risk of being contaminated as well. The second point I want to bring up is the garbage pollution, such as plastic bags, glass bottles, packaging material. Pretty much everything we throw away has a risk of being thrown away into the ocean. According to Kit Doucette in her article Ocean of Plastic, published on October 29, 2009, she talks about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and how the garbage in that outweighs zooplankton, which is one of the most prominent organisms on the planet, by a ratio of 6:1. There are many negative effects of garbage waste, one being that it affects marine animals. Over 100 million marine animals are killed each year by garbage. The food we eat, the water supply, and the oxygen we breathe by marine plants are depending on us to make a change. The solution can be easier to reach than you think. The more people that are aware that there is a problem and an easy solution, the faster we will be able to see results. Since 75% of oil spills come from automobile byproducts, it's important to point out the benefits of electric cars. According to Luke Tanashil's study of electric cars published on September 17, 2005, he explains that producing electricity for electric vehicles can generate emissions, but it's far less than conventional cars. Not only does it get rid of the oil spill problem in that way, it's also better for air pollution. Other options, such as walking, biking, and carpooling, will reduce the amount of oil that enters the ocean. According to Jesse Holt in the Huffington Post article published on June 5, 2007, 37 million tons of carbon emissions are saved each year alone by public transportation. There are so many simple solutions that correct trash pollution as well. 14 billion tons of waste end up in the ocean each year, which is mostly plastic. Plastic is one of the main sources of pollution due to the fact that it takes so long to degrade in the water, estimating about 400 years. A simple and direct solution to this is just reducing the amount of single-use plastics altogether. Even if it's convenient for people on the go, the harm outweighs the benefit. Also, disposing of your waste properly is important for this problem as well. Knowing when to recycle and when to compost will decrease the amount of trash that reaches the ocean. As for the stuff that's already out there, participating in beach cleanups and donating to organizations devoted to this will be beneficial as well. As you can tell, some of these solutions require little effort, but many of these small actions can have global impacts. So now that we know ocean pollution is a serious problem and that there's many simple solutions, we can discuss what can happen if no changes are to be made. According to Torben Lone in his article, How Ocean Pollution Impacts Marine Life and Us All, published on April 12, 2016, chemicals like pesticides, leads, and other heavy metals have the ability to cause hormonal problems, reproductive problems, nervous system damage, and kidney damage if consumed by humans. Another toxin, like mercury, has the ability to cause Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, and heart disease. Beach pollution, which is not a toxic chemical but can still have many harmful effects, can cause severe skin reactions, illness through physical contact or ingestion of the water. According to Sarah Kaplan in the Washington Post, published on January 20, 2016, she states if we keep producing and failing to dispose properly of plastic at the predicted rates, the plastic in the ocean will outweigh fish pound for pound in 2050. And that's just plastic alone, not taking into account all the other harmful pollutions. If we want to continue eating seafood and enjoying beaches like these, instead of beaches like these, we must act now and stop our bad habits. I know this is a large topic with many aspects, but hopefully I've covered enough information that inspires you to make a change. Our decisions directly impact the ocean's health. I've talked about oil spills, toxic chemicals, and garbage waste, and how that affects marine life and us. The solution can be as simple as throwing away your litter or biking to class, but the food we eat and the beaches we enjoy are endangered of becoming poisonous and polluted. The ocean's health is in our hands, so let's go out and make a change.